Open flag! Open flag!
Welcome. I'm Chris McKean.
And I'm Andy Kiner.
Bingo.
We're all about cross-country racing, and typically it starts with 10 seconds, but
Not in Iowa. Starts with hands-on helmets.
I had to fill in for you. That last second drink catches you.
That was good because I was putting the headphones on, taking a drink. I was hurrying. Just got the phone with Paul, getting an update. Yeah, it's been rushed tonight, obviously. So
We're back. We're back. It's a little bit off timing, and for this foreseeable future, we're gonna have to sneak the podcast in when we can, just because of busy schedules. I think I have pretty well something going on every night with the kids. So it's gymnastics, cross country, football. We've already started wrestling practice, so it's very busy. Oh, and soccer on Sundays now. So very busy in our household. So we'll try to fit them in when we can. I know we got a little break. It was needed. I got a couple of trips in back to Chicago. So yeah, it was fun.
what about your volleyball? Is it done?
My volleyball's done.
Volleyball?
Yep.
I'm not gonna lie, I miss those days with the boys having something, one or two things every day, and we're going different directions. You don't realize it until it's gone, and then you kind of miss it, and it's like, now I'm bored.
I know this is a busy week. We traveled to Cedar Rapids Thursday, so it's like going to be a late night getting home, turn around, going to the track on Friday.
Football Thursday then?
Football Thursday this week.
Which ones?
Austin. Start. Yep. Wide receiver. So yeah, he's pretty good. I'm not going to brag, but he's pretty good.
He's tall enough. He's perfect for it.
6'2".
Jeez.
Way taller than I am. 6'2" now. So
I think he's even got me beat now.
I think he had you beat in like 4th grade. So
shoot.
Oh, it's been a while. You've been busy too.
Been very busy.
I mean,
work, finally getting back to work and working a lot of hours. And we went up to see the grandson Saturday morning. That was awesome, getting to see him, and got back to get to the track. We got back here. We pulled in. We unhooked the trailer that was on that truck, jumped on the other truck that was already hooked up to the trailer, and took off for the track. We didn't get left here till it was late, like 4:00. Trace went down with me and dropped the trailer and tried to figure some scoring and that kind of stuff up, the start stuff. And then went back down Sunday morning. The guys were already there by the time I got there and working on the track. And we got a lot of stuff figured out. We moved the start. We moved the scoring on Sunday morning. So, yeah, got a lot done. Sure don't seem like it, but going down there this week, it'll make a world of difference. The guys, big shout out to Paul, of course, and Joe Moeller and Brad Mathis. I want to say it's Matt Smalley. I guess they call him Matt now. So it's Matt Smalley. Coulter's dad.
Yep.
Has been down there helping a couple times. And yeah, it's been, I can't even tell you how much I appreciate that. It wouldn't be done if it wasn't for them guys. So huge to have them guys down there. They've done a ton of work. They got it. I think for the most part, it's pretty much all laid out. Just got the phone with Paul and stuff, and he's got some more ideas already today. It's going through his head, and so yeah, pretty cool though. Pretty cool. So we don't got a lot of functions to go to now with the boys gone. So our days are not near as busy as yours right now.
Yeah, we had to also do it's very busy. We got You know, we did a roof over the weekend as well, so that took up all weekend too. So helping out and doing what we can, but certainly busy right now. But enough said. We got a few things to talk about on the list, and some of the things to throw out there we haven't. We're going to talk about the 50 limited class tonight. Talk about the side by sides. Also, what was it? A rider education training.
Ride safe.
Ride safe.
Ride safe program. Yep.
We need to talk a little bit about the adult 90 event going on this weekend. Maybe you can give a little bit more information like track length and that stuff. I think if everybody's watched your video on Sunday, right? Yesterday, you kind of covered parking and the pit situation.
Yep. I tried to cover a lot there without talking for 2 hours, but I know it ended up being a long one, but kind of give everybody a good idea.
It was on the shorter conversations, probably because you didn't have anybody else to talk to. It was just yourself, so it was shorter. Yep.
I missed all these jabs, you know.
I know we honestly haven't talked for a while either. So yeah, we need to get back into it here.
Yeah. So
yeah, awesome track. You covered it. I'm been kind of like motocross track is. There's also what do you say? 80% of our track's going to be in timber.
I would say probably at least 80%, if not more. It might be closer to 90, 95%. I mean, it's really, really good.
Yep.
So,
and we've got all kinds of terrain, right? I'm hearing hills. We have any creek crossings?
Yes, there is. I'm here now. It keeps changing. The morning to night to next morning, the next night, it changed. The weather is changing on when the rain's coming.
Yeah,
they are saying, I'll look again here. They were saying Saturday. I about had a heart attack, Chris. Saturday morning, Trace and I got up early to head up to Waverly to see the grandson. And I looked at it when we were leaving, and it said 3¼ inches starting at 5 o'clock in the morning and going to about 1 o'clock.
Yep.
And I was like, this ain't how we want to start a brand new track out. I was pretty worried. And then they've changed it. Again, depends on what you have, you know, what you're looking at. I'm only looking at the Weather Channel. And right now they're saying for Saturday, it's a little bit earlier today. It was 0.95 of an inch. Last night it said I forget what it was last night, but it was 0.95. Now it says 0.7 inches. But it's also not even showing it till like 7 o'clock that night now.
Okay.
So
we need to beg the side by sides to keep it clean and come all back in one piece, and we can get packed up and have everything put away.
Exactly. Unfortunately, down there, if we had got an inch on Friday night, it would make it dust free, basically. Mm-hmm. I mean, we could definitely use the rain. It's dry. So I was really hoping to see some rain Friday night. Friday, we got 1.5 inches on Friday. I would take it, you know, so.
Yeah.
But yeah, unfortunately, it may not hit us as much as what we thought it was going to. Looks like it's more up here towards Des Moines and north than down there. So.
All right. So weather hopefully won't be a factor. Might be some dust issues. So everybody should be prepared for that.
Temperatures look great though.
It does.
Yeah. Like high 70s, low 80s, you know, so that's really nice. Sleeping weather's good. You know, we always get people with tents. This is a great place to have tents. There's plenty of places for it. Not a problem at all there. So.
Yep, and parking doesn't seem to be an issue. We just want to make sure everybody, if they didn't hear or listen to your Facebook Live post, we have to be careful about where we ride, right? Because there are some planted fields. You got the alpha planted and that stuff. So, you want to talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, we'll have that. We're going to put laugh up. We're going to put some signs saying, you know, nobody in here, but no parking, anything. But I think we're just going to go ahead and caution tape it. It's important enough. I think we go ahead and just caution tape the whole outside. Basically, where this is when you pull in, you get past the corn, and you can't miss it. It's just on the left. As you pull in, it'll be on the left-hand side of the driveway.
Yep.
You actually shouldn't even be down that way because we're basically would like to close off the driveway. When you come through in the gate and where you stop and you're paying the gate, signing and stuff, you're going to go candy cornered right across into the perfectly flat parking. It's a beautiful place to park. But then if you want to go on up into the pasture, you cut right through there and go through a gate. So you don't even need to ever go down the driveway. I think we're probably going to put a couple big units along the side of the driveway, be on the right-hand side. But we might take some cars down there, spectators, cars down there and park, but there shouldn't really be a lot down there.
Gotcha.
So yeah. But yeah, that's going to be the thing is we can't be in there. I promised them, that's the dad's land. And even Dave has some there too. There's just no reason to be in his either. So something we just got to respect and stay out of there, but there's plenty of room for us. Now,
let's get into the other hot topic. What about the pit? Because I'm seeing some conversations.
Yep.
Heard some rumblings about the pit.
So that's one reason we changed the starting area. The family down there was really good to work with us and let us change the starting area. That freed up a little nice spot for us to put kind of what I would call a pit area where you can bring a tent up if you want, or your fuel or, tires, whatever you want. But the pits themselves will not run through. I'm sorry, the track will not run through where we're parking. Okay.
Yep.
So there will not be any like on pit lane parking this time. So you will have to bring it down to the front there. And there's a nice little area there, and there's different areas you can go to do it. It's not a problem. So how far, if we're talking, just kind of explaining to everybody, we're parking right when we pay basically to come in, and there's a flat field. How far would a team have to go from maybe the pit road or the parking area to maybe a pit road? How many yards? So
are we talking?
Yard wise, I don't know. I think it would be if you're in the really good parking area, that's just back by the gate,
Yep.
I would say it's probably 3/4 of a city block, if that makes sense. A bit less than a city block. That's not a very good measurement, I'm sure, but it's a little distance. I'm not, it definitely is. For example, the driveway there is probably about half as long as the Mount Pleasant driveway that we're used to when you pull in and go all the way up to the house.
Yep. Okay.
It's probably half that distance. Okay. So,
gotcha.
So it's a little jaunt, but it can definitely be done for sure. And like I said, there's going to be places where we can, if you want to throw the stuff in the back of the pickup or something, and drive it down there. I think we can get
maybe
places.
Accommodate.
Yeah, to park like that if they have like a golf cart or side by side. The pit riding is going to be a little different. I haven't obviously made the last 2 races. I've heard some.
Yeah, I think we gotta kind of cut that back a little bit. It was kind of getting out of control at the last race, and just think we got to slow it down a little bit and just use it when it's necessary, so we don't ruin it and have to just stop everybody from pit riding.
Yeah, and the pit riding is supposed to be that. It's supposed to get from one point to the next. It's not to go out and ride around for a half hour type thing. It's to, to get from one spot to the next. So that's the other thing is we got things changed. I think I put it in that video too, but by changing the scoring will only be about 75 feet from registration. Registration will be about 50 feet, maybe at the most, from the food vendor. And then the awards is going to be right there, right by the registration. So it's a really nice setup. It's all in rock where it's going to be. The Bear family is gracious enough to we're basically taking over the front of their garage and their driveway and stuff. And it's just right up there by they've done a ton of work cleaning stuff up or moving stuff, and it'll be pretty neat. Just the downfall is just having the parking being a little bit back there. So, but I think everything else will make up for that for sure. So you mentioned the motocross, Chris.
Yeah.
Dave we're not going to do the whole motocross track. We're kind of on and off of it.
Yep.
But he's regrooming it, tore it all up, regrooming it, building it. I'm not going to have the big lips, and stuff. So it'll be very side by side and ATV friendly for sure.
Yeah. Because when we previously talked about, we didn't know that if the adults or any of the ATVs were going to be on the motocross track. So it's nice now they're going to get a little bit of something.
Yeah. And it's cool.
Nice.
Dave used to be a motocross racer for a long time, it sounds like. So he's, the whole family, I think, runs the dozers down there and everything. And they've got quite the little place, and it's really cool. So it's not like what you would think, just your backyard motocross. It's really, really neat. I mean, I never did ask him how long it is, but it's got some good length, and it goes through the timber, and man, there's some elevation change. I mean, it's really nice. I don't think there's any like doubles. It's all tabletops. It's pretty nice for us. So, and then also where the pit lane is, I kind of showed that. I'm not calling it a pit lane. It's where we're going to have an area for them to set up at. We got to work on that a little bit because the start could actually go through there. So I've got an idea that we're going to try to get figured out on Thursday morning. And I think we can get that fixed as well. If we do get that fixed, there'll be a lot more room to be able to set up, for like a pit area, or more tents and stuff, but there's still plenty of room in there, to do it. It shouldn't be an issue at all. So, and we've done this before, we've had other races, that didn't have a pit lane, and it worked out just fine. It's different if you've got 20 spots on pit lane where some people get to, but then a lot of people don't, Here, if everybody's the same, you're either on the pit lane or you're off. Everybody being off, it's all the same, So it'll be good for sure.
So we just briefly got to hear from Paul right before we went live here. That's why we were late. We'll blame Paul this time.
For sure.
Right?
Yeah.
For sure. Yeah.
Paul. Yeah.
So I kind of heard that the adults and UTV track is about 8 miles long.
Correct. Yep.
So it's pretty decent size.
Yeah. And it's got everything. So there's some nice hill climbs, some man-made stuff. It's going to be really cool. And the best part is there's a lot more opportunity than what you're going to see this year. I mean, this is a starting point for us. So it's really cool.
Well,
the guys are really knocking it out of the park.
With that caveat though, it's really nice, but let's not ruin it the first race. So let's be respectful of the land.
You sure? Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
So I've got a question here about how long the kids courses are. And we heard from Paul, the kids track isn't totally built yet. So
it's not quite. I think he said he had something come up in his head today, which is kind of scary, but he had another idea about adding some stuff. So I think it's going to be roughly 2 to 2.5, for that big one. So for the kids,
for the adult, for the 90s.
Yeah.
Hopefully we'll get about a mile. I'd like to see maybe mile and a half for the 50s, if we can get that out of it.
Yep. Ideally that's about perfect. So you can see the kids more. So
that at least they can get a couple left.
Yeah. And even on them, it'll be elevation change. There's I'm gonna be honest, I haven't seen the whole course. But I was talking to Joe down there Saturday, I think it was Sunday. But he was saying that he thought the kids course had the potential of being a track of the year type thing too. So I'm really looking forward to seeing that. So he thought it was going to be really cool. So,
well, good.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of kids, let's go ahead and jump into one of the topics. We have some conversations that have been happening. all year long, right? About the 50 limited class. And you've kind of been working behind the scenes, the last month or so, very hard on this. You want to tell everybody kind of what's going on with it? What's the plan?
Yeah, I'm gonna back up on you 1 second too. I want to apologize to everybody because, when I first heard this, I was like, why would they think we're not having a race? But there was a couple comments I got told about that was out there, like, people are asking if we're having the race, and I'm like, why wouldn't we be having the race? They said, well, we haven't heard anything about it. And that's 100% my fault that there just hasn't been the talk about it. Our social media stuff that, that's all changed this year. I know you and I are working on that kind of behind the scenes right now. That's going to get a lot better here shortly. But basically, I just haven't gotten the information out. I can't use the excuse of being busy because everybody's busy. Busy people get stuff done. So I understand the different stuff, not see anything, question. But on that, please don't ever think the race isn't happening unless you hear it on an official page, which the IATVHSS stuff that, nobody even knows who owns that. They just use our name. So that's not an official website. We don't pay attention to it at all. So if you're looking for an answer on something, please, I think everybody in the series knows how to get a hold of me. When they get a hold of me, I typically get right back to them unless it's in the middle of a race or something, but yeah, get a hold of us that. Our other one is the IATVHSS race family that we just started, correct?
Yeah. And
that was basically to give everybody a place to talk. I don't care if you're upset at something or you're happy with something, but then we can address that and answer questions and stuff like that. So that's the ones that we definitely will be checking as an official site. And I haven't done a very good job of checking that either, so I will. So I just want to apologize to everybody. You haven't seen a lot. Our podcast, I know it says it's an excuse, but obviously we've been busy and stuff and trying to get back in the swing of things and get stuff done here. So I hope you'll be seeing a lot more of it, but please don't ever question whether or not you're having the race unless you see something coming out saying that there's not a race, so kind of scares everybody else off when they talk like that. So, but with that being said, you mentioned the 50cc, the 50 limited class, and I want to go back and kind of rehash where that class came from, Chris.
Yeah.
Because, our kids' classes have always been really good, but this year it's blown up. And I think one reason of that is that brand new class, that 50 limited class we've had for 2 years now. This is the second year, I think, isn't it?
I want to say we've had it for 2.
Okay. So, but with that being said, only in Iowa is a 50 Kimco, the old 2-stroke 2006 or older. That's the only place in America that thing is worth anything. You know what I mean? It's by far the fastest little 50, a bone stock type situation. But it really made it unfair for a lot. I shouldn't say unfair, but some of the other machines out there and kids starting out, you basically had to search for a Kimco. I know people have driven to Texas, to Pennsylvania, to wherever to get them. And they're getting so hard to find now. So you and I and Trace and the guys, everybody, we started talking about this and, we looked at the registrations, we looked at the ages and stuff. And when we decided to do that 50 limited class, that's exactly what it is a 50 limited. And that's not for a kid that's racing a 90 and wants to race a 52 or something. This is for them to start out on and have fun starting out. And of all places that it should be a completely stock machine would be that class. That's the class where I know everybody wants to win, but for our sport to grow and for the kids to grow in our sport, they've got to have a place to start that doesn't cost an arm and a leg for mom and dad and can just literally wash the machine and have fun with it, and that's what that 50 limited is supposed to do. And you remember the first year we had that 50 stock, I think we had like 30 some people. And then we started that 50 limited. I know you and I both thought that thing would have like 20 people in it.
Mm-hmm.
And that first year, I think we were both disappointed. We only had like 5 people, 5, 6, 7 people, and that's kind of where it averaged. I think one time there might have only been like 4 in it, and we started questioning if we did the right thing, but you can't ever judge anything right away. And now look at this year. How many are we getting in that class? 20,
Quite a bit.
and I think it's probably one of the best things we've done in a long time for the kids, because that's really divided them up, and it's allowed another stepping stone for the kids to come in, to actually just come in and worry about learning the riding and the racing and being around other kids and the start and stuff, and not having to worry about like the Kimco that's like the golden child out here, and you can modify those machines and still run in that class. And of course we have the 50 production, but the 50 limited class is just that. And I thought you and Trace did most of the work on that registration form, and I don't have one in front of me. Do you happen to have one, Chris? I should ask you about that.
Yeah, I could have. Way to put me on the spot. Thank you.
Is there one on the website?
Yeah, I believe there might be.
The reason I want to bring this up is we tried to make this thing as absolutely, here's a registration. That's where it'd be at, wouldn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Yes. I think I got it. Yes, I did. Hey, looky there, Chris. I got it right. Of course, now mine's blurry and I can't get to come up for some reason. Well, shoot. My phone's not... Oh, there it is. Okay, so let me just go over this real quick, Chris. So we made this form up, and I should have told you if you could pull it up, but I think most people have seen it. We literally broke it down to like the 50 limited class. The very first thing it says, Chris, in parentheses at the very top, is max speed 18 miles an hour. Okay, there you go. You got her. So max speed 18 mile an hour. I can tell you point blank, not one of the manufacturers that we have in here, the cows that's allowed, says black race plate, says Kawasaki 2-stroke, Kawasaki 4-stroke, Polaris Outlaw, Polaris Predator 4-stroke, Suzuki 2-stroke, Suzuki 4-stroke, and Yamaha YZ. Now I know that there is, I think, oh no, that was a stock machine. That was one that I never heard of. But of those machines I just read off to you, Chris, not one of them will go faster than 18 miles an hour. Okay. So we have a situation now where we have machines 100% have been radared. I've seen it, that are going faster than 18 mile an hour, equivalent of like, I think, don't hold me to this, but I think they're up to like 23 miles an hour. And when it comes down to it, I don't want to be mean to the kids at all, but that is 100% cheating in the worst class that you could ever cheat in, if you ask me. You know, that's to get kids involved in our sport and stuff and have fun. I'm just being point blank here because I just want everybody to understand it won't pass this race. That's all there is to it. So, but basically we're going to come down on that. These kids that are out there running the same machine and they're just getting walked away from. We know there's a situation. Typically we're talking CDI boxes. You know, when they're doing this kind of stuff, we have been working behind the scenes. A couple of the parents have been helping us. We're getting pictures of CDI boxes. We're getting part numbers of CDI boxes. If the CDI box, when we check it, doesn't add up, I'm not here to kind of announce what we're doing, but you just don't want it. Trust me. I don't want to penalize the kid, you know, the 4-year-old little Johnny out there that's just going out and having a blast isn't the one that's looking up the new part number and seeing how I can get 3 more mile an hour speed out of this. It's not little Johnny, and I don't want to penalize little Johnny, but there's no way to really do this without doing it. So, so one thing is, you know, if they're going faster than this, I'm guessing more than likely they're just going to get bumped up to the next class, start out with, you know, one way or the other, whether it's the next race or, you know, however we come up with this. But we're working on how we're going to deal with it once we find it. But I can tell you, if you're going faster than that, we find the wrong CDI box, you will not get if you win, you will not get a first place. It may be that you're just disqualified. But there's some points out there, I'm sure right now, that have been affected by this, and we want to correct it as quick as we can. So I am not sure exactly how this is going to happen yet. I just want to kind of get this out because we hadn't done much talking on it. If we don't do a tech before and look at the CDI boxes and everything to make sure they're all stock, then it'll be a thing where it might be like, say, top 5, Chris, when they come in, we'll pull them off to the side, put them in an impound area, and then we'll look at all the top 5. It's kind of, it's kind of an idea that we've got. So we will have a radar gun going also. There very well could be 2 radar guns going out there. So we're going to find them. And, it's, when I talk to parents right now, I'm hearing 3 to 4 is what they're thinking we could be dealing with. That's, a little juiced up. I don't know that for sure, but we will find them. If you don't know if you got the right CDI box before Saturday, I'd look at it tonight. I'd look at it tomorrow. I know you can get the original CDI box. I know there's CDI boxes out there, at least I've been informed with the last week, that are alternatives to the stock one, but they're not a performance. They're just, an off brand that does the, what do you call that? Kind of a duplicate of the CDI box. So those are the ones that we will take the part numbers, do our research on, and find out. It's best just to come up and say, hey, I've got this, or I don't have this, but the worst scenario is for Big Johnny to send Little Johnny out there to race and then find wrong afterwards when, he's going 23 mile an hour and everybody else is going 16 to 18 miles an hour like the rules state. So we don't want to put Little Johnny in that case. So we need Big Johnny to kind of man up and make sure that the machines are right when they come to this race. So if they want to start doing stuff with that, we've always got the 50 production. So I'll get off of that. I don't want to start the day off on a bad thing, but that's the biggest thing to me is this kids is blown up. I think we had 81 or 82 kids at one of the races this year.
Yep.
That might've been Cahokia, if I remember right. And that's amazing. So there's plenty of time to build and make them faster, but that class has to be our class. That is a beginner. If you don't want to be in the beginner class, then that's where we're going to have to take your machine that you got, put your CDI box, put, whatever else, and bump it up. So pretty clear as mud.
Yeah. So you kind of took care of the kids. Anything to discuss real quick about adults? Seems to be going all right. We can talk about.
Yeah, on the adults, though, because I haven't been at the last 2 races, but I felt like I was, because I was on the phone, as you know, bugging you and everybody else the whole day. And I heard, honestly, nothing but good things. It sounds to me like the adults have done a really good job. We had to curve that coming into scoring or leaving scoring, situation too fast. I feel like from everything I've heard from everybody, everybody's done a really good job. You might have a couple bad apples right now that will probably get pointed out a little bit more when I'm there, because quite frankly, I'm just tired of it, So we'll still have that same situation. We'll deal with it. But I think everybody in the adults have been doing really, really good. Even the kids, some of the kids I think are still struggling, learning that slow down, which parents just need to talk to them, so they don't get talked to by us. But for the most part, I've seen for the ATVs, even the side-by-sides, from what I've heard from you guys, have done really well as far as coming into scoring and leaving,
Yeah, we just got to make sure that we have it wide enough coming into scoring for Lou with that 4-seater. I know he's watching. So, yeah, he had a little rough time at the last race, but awesome job. Changed the belt right before scoring, too. So, got to see that at the last race.
I'm really glad you just pointed that out to me, because I think I probably need to move scoring back a couple more feet. They'll be coming out of the timber here. They'll truly actually turn and kind of go up what you would call like a little access driveway coming up to scoring. They'll be coming into scoring. It's on kind of a, it gets kind of off camber. So there probably is not going to be a situation to do a, like a chicane. Yeah. Coming into it, there won't be, I don't think. We will look at that a little bit more to see, but I'm guessing not. It drops off pretty good right there. But we will get them slowed down. They'll come in, and then there's part of their motocross we're coming right at. And
yeah, I saw that.
Right after the scoring, there's a berm. And I asked Dave, he would move it in a heartbeat for us by asking him to go ahead and leave it. So you'll come into the tent, you'll score. As you come out, you're going to have to make a right to go around there. So we're going to have basically a little chicane to get out, just not a chicane to get in, really. And if we can, we'll still put that in, but I just don't know that we can getting in. So, but with the thought of his 4-seater and being longer, right now, I'd say we probably got about 15 feet till you hit to that by getting out of the tent. So it might be something I want to move back another 5-6 feet or something. So
we're going to call it lose, slow down area or something. We're going to name it after Lou. Yeah, I got to give props to, our AA class. It has gotten better after our discussions with them. Truly everybody's slowing down, and maybe it was just the chicane coming into scoring at the last race, but yeah, everything was good as far as scoring aspect.
And that's something that, and we, Chris, we got on the phone or on the call it podcast or however I don't know, webcam or however you call that, but with all the AA guys, and maybe most people don't even know that we had 2 sessions. We had every AA guy that could be on there. The other ones we talked to, I think there was 3 that couldn't be on there. We talked to, we told them, hey, this is the deal. You're going to get screamed at or hollered at or whatever, if you're still doing this, but we're going to deal with it. And we tried to listen to them. And I think almost every one of them thought the chicanes would be something that would get everybody slowed down. And, like we talked then, you remember we used to actually do the chicanes, and we had too many people tearing them down and getting caught up in them. So we stopped doing that. But we tried to listen to the riders, and they all said that would really help. So whenever we can do that, we're going to attempt to make sure we get that done. This one is a little tough to get the scoring a location for it this first time. Like I said, we actually just moved it yesterday. So it's kind of a work in progress on this first one, but I just don't see it being a chicane on this. And I know, like I said, we try to listen to the guys, and it may seem like we're not on this one, but it's just because of the location. But we're going to definitely keep in mind on what they're saying on reasonings why they are not getting slowed down. So we'll keep working on that.
Gotcha. And I have a Pulse Circ idea just now, so maybe we can discuss it afterward as well. Scoring.
I'm sorry,
video. Yeah.
Say it again. It broke up really bad. I couldn't hear you.
Yeah. I think I see potential of maybe moving scoring one more time.
Oh, really?
Yeah, but I don't want to discuss it in case you say no.
Okay. Paul actually gets the credit for where we put it this time.
Oh, sorry, Paul.
Yeah. He actually does.
Yeah, we'll talk about it. I got an idea, maybe to come up with something. Maybe we do put something right in the middle, make a telephone pole or something like we used to at Carlisle days. Make it go over telephone pole.
It wouldn't be good here, though. Yeah,
we'll think of something, Dylan. I see your comment. Something to slow you down. I'll think of something.
So here's the other thing about this. I probably didn't put it very good on the video yesterday, but they're in the timber, and it's going to slow them down getting out of there, and they're going to come up with a lot of debris around and stuff. They're going to be slowed down. There's no doubt about this, but it just won't be like what we talked about with the guys and the normal chicaning, I don't think. So
it's not like a Fort Dodge coming into scoring or where else, like a longer straightaway. It's pretty much coming out of timber, and
yeah,
you got to stop.
Yep. So
gotcha. All right. What else is on my list? Before we get to the UTVs, let's talk about something. The Adult 90. The adult 90 class. So we have it slated for adult 90s to do the motocross track or some sort of motocross heats. So we'll get more details out once we kind of get that worked out, because that motocross is pretty long. I don't know if we want to do a whole.
So here's the deal with that. I've actually got, they have a youth motocross track, a very small one built. You think about our guys that are doing that. Some of them race, we're not trying to wear them out completely. I know we had a couple scary situations in Cahokia, sounds like. So when I started looking at this, the big motocross track, I mean, it's a very, very cool. It's a thing where a guy had a bike or a four-wheeler and want to go down, and you'd want to ride on that track all day long type thing. But it also goes down in the timber. The spectators aren't going to see a lot of it, So across the road or across the driveway, they have this mini one. I actually showed it on the video. But the jumps and stuff are really only about wide enough for like 2 Honda 90s. Okay. 3 maybe at the very, very tightest. Okay. It's a really tight track. Okay. But what I'm thinking over there, Chris, I know we talked about doing like, let's say if we had 20 of them in there, we'd do like 10 the first heat, 10 the second heat, would pull 5 out of each one and then have the overall race. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But I'm thinking here we might do it more like the and this is just an idea I'm throwing out there, but it's kind of like the whole shot challenge where we do say 2, 3, 4, maybe 5 probably at the most on this one. We start them and knowing that they're probably only going to be 2 wide, which I think we've seen that pretty much once they get started. I mean, they're not going to be much more than 2 wide anyway, but put them on the smaller one so everybody can kind of circle around and see the whole track, and they're not putting their bodies and their machines through some of the, I mean, all the jumps are fine on the big one. They're tabletop, but this is just a really nice little one. I think it'll be a lot of fun. And I think we'll probably end up just moving them over there, and there's a nice little area we can start them on everything and get them on there. So,
so we'll get that hammered out here, and we'll make that post kind of what's going on.
Yep. So.
Currently I've got the points up. Jordan Berg's leading the adult mini series with 15 points. Travis Brent is in second with 14 points. Terrell Kerr is in third place with 10 points, followed by Jackson Carroll, and fifth place is Lou with 8 points. So there's still quite a bit. We got 2 more challenges left. It's kind of still up in the grabs for see how things will shake out here.
Do we have 2 left? I thought we weren't doing it the last race. Maybe we were.
The last race is supposed to be the whole shot challenge.
We're doing it for that one too. Okay.
We're doing a whole shot challenge, yes, on the 90s.
Okay.
The adults only. We can't do a whole shot challenge yet for kids.
Correct. Yeah.
But we can get the adults going. Yeah.
Well, we're doing the whole shot challenge, but are we adult 90s though is doing the whole shot challenge?
Correct.
Right. Okay. Gotcha.
Yep.
Boy.
So unfortunately this year we can't do kids yet. We got to work out some sort of system to make it fair for kids. And then
there isn't
also,
a system.
I know. And then also side by sides. We just don't have the room yet. But that's something that we've been kind of tossing around, trying to get that maybe added next year.
Yep. So while we're talking about that whole shot challenge, last year that was a fun thing that came up. I think it was Tyrell Kerr and a couple of the guys, really kind of, I think jokingly kind of thought that up, and then we all kind of took it and ran with it. And that was a lot of fun at the end of the year. That was a lot of fun watching them guys do it. And some big surprises. It basically showed that, even a 300 could beat a 450, I mean, it's all about how fast it's starting, the cornering, that we've seen the corners. So many people were so fast getting down there, but then couldn't get around that corner very fast, so it's a lot of fun. But I will tell you this year when, so after this race, Chris, I believe, or even at the race, we're going to have something we're going to put out something or have it at the race, either or, about who's qualified, correct?
Yep, we've got I'm gonna say close to 40 qualified so far. So give me to the end of the week here before the race. I'll get a list out there thrown on Facebook so everyone can see who's qualified. If you've gotten the whole shot more than once this year, you only qualify one time for one entry into it, into the whole shot challenge. But yeah, it's all it takes. Just get a whole shot off the line. We got 2 more chances this year to qualify
One.
for the whole.
This is the last time they qualify because we have the last race.
One more.
Yeah.
Yes.
This is the last time to
My
qualify.
brain.
Yep. So
and you did mention Terrell. What Terrell's thrown up some money, right?
$750.
So
yeah, he may never come to the banquet again after doing that. But yeah,
So
that's king of the whole shots will be crowned again at Murray. That race is a lot of fun. So
yep. So we'll get that in. We've got some also Hotsy, right?
Yep, we'll be giving away the Hotsy
sponsored
prizes. Yep. So that's the other thing too, is after, make sure everybody knows this, after this race, basically you have to tell us if you're going to be there or not. So if, let's say, Big John over here qualifies, but he doesn't let us know that he's going to be there, right? Then he won't be drawn in when we do our drawings. So you have to tell us and verify that you will be there and you're participating. You know, because we had some people qualified last year but didn't want to get up at 8 o'clock. You know, so
well, we do start a little early. The first round, we know we have to keep things moving along just because it does take some time, and we'll have to play it by ear again. Just we'll do a live drawing since we have the podcast. I think that'd be something we can do on seating.
Yeah, that was fun last year. Yeah,
hype it up a little bit more. I think we can do a bracket and give away some sort of prize again.
Yeah, and then you just kind of mentioned it being early. It's very, very important. Let's say John and Joe are racing and Joe is at the camper at 8 o'clock when he's supposed to be taking off. He will just forfeit that round. You have to be there. We don't have time to wait and go find people. So they have to be there. So 1, you got to qualify. 2, you got to verify to us that you are going to participate in it. And then 3, you have to make sure you're there on time and ready to go.
Here's what I'll do, and we'll kind of pass on the word. I'll make a post showing who's all qualified, and then all you got to do is comment that you're going to participate, and I'll watch the comments in that post, and we'll try to do it like that. That way, somebody doesn't come up to you and tell you that, hey, they're going to do it, and then you be forgetful like normal and not tell us.
Oh,
so yeah, so we'll we'll make the post, and if not, and I don't hear from you, don't make me reach out. It's tough enough trying to keep things moving along.
And it's also something, I know we're kind of talking out loud or thinking out loud here, but if you have that list at the registration trailer or wherever you're going to put it this weekend, is that something they could come up and say, yeah, I'm a qualify, and maybe they could, sign off to the side that they're going to be there type thing?
Do a check mark or whatever.
Yeah.
Or
I think that would
we can do that as well.
Yeah, that way they can let us know right away, and we can mention that in the writers' meetings and stuff to where you can kind of get that done. And because that's only what, 3 weeks after this one?
October 12th. Yeah, we're close. 3 weeks.
So we got to move on, the getting the prizes and getting everything and getting it figured out. So it'd be really helpful if we could get it done this weekend.
Yep.
So cool.
All right. So we kind of talked about let's move on to side-by-sides. I have 2 more things on the list, or do you want to talk about the ride safe training first?
Yeah. Let's dang, I just went to look that up and I see my son just posted his pictures we haven't even seen yet of his what do you call it? his wedding. What do you call that? When they're getting married, the pictures,
Engagement pictures.
engagement pictures. Yeah. Pretty cool. I just seen that there. So kind of caught me off guard seeing that. I want to bring this up so I can kind of read off this a little bit and explain what we're doing. Excuse me. So this is something that when I say we've been working on it, we've been kind of helping or trying to help with it. Dan Clean, I give him all the credit. Dan doesn't get enough credit in Iowa as far as our sport or just the writing and everything, but he finds ways to make this kind of stuff happen. And this was through a program called Ride Safe, and it's called Powered by BRP. It's actually another partner is Nationwide, and it's a really cool deal. I'm not going to read the whole thing on it, but I'm just going to read just a little bit here, okay? It's let's champion rider safety. It says in the last few years, ATV and UTV has grown dramatically. Many ATVs and UTVs are workhorses on U.S. farms and ranches. Their utility and power is growing. In some cases, these vehicles are more economical, high performance, fuel efficient than larger pickups and trucks. Bottom line is ATVs and UTVs are invaluable in helping farmers and ranchers do a lot of jobs. Now, the bad part, the number of deaths and injuries involving young people on ATVs and UTVs is a major concern. In 2023, the Consumer Federation of America documented 498 OHV fatalities, with children under 15 accounting for 19% of these incidents. Children aged 6 and under make up a large scale of the OHV deaths, with some as young as 3 losing their lives riding an OHV, an off-highway vehicle. In response to these dangers, Nationwide has partnered with Ride Safe Foundation, powered by BRP, to bring resources, education, communities to protect their families, community, and property as part of this new safety program. Let's champion rider safety. This campaign works to share easy to find resources and advice for safety operating this equipment. To support this campaign, we have planned safety days at numerous Central Iowa schools, I should say, districts, to connect with youth. As a member of this community whose child will be attending our upcoming safety day, we want to share some resources with you to spark conversations or practices within your household. So I'm going to leave it. Well, the Ride Safe Foundation was co-founded by this Kristen Allemer in partnership with Hubert Rowland after Kristen lost her 11-year-old nephew, Logan, in a fatal ATV accident in Wisconsin on Memorial Day weekend in 2013. And they have done a ton of work since then. And I'll actually share this with you, Chris, and maybe it's something we can even post out there so people can kind of read some of this and see, in fact, like this, in 9 out of 10 ATV-related fatalities, accidents, the victim is not wearing a helmet. Teaching children to wear helmet, proper riding apparel, gear every time they ride. 95% of the fatalities, the victim has not received a safety certification. This just goes on and on, all the stuff that you and I and most of our racers would think would be common sense. But when you think about it, I was having this conversation with a couple people the other day. Look how many kids start helping farm and stuff, when they're 4 or 5 years old. It ain't nothing to go out to a farm and see a 5-year-old jumping on a 500. He's not going and racing like we are, but he might be going and checking cattle or a fence or something. And it surprised me. A lot of them that came up don't even realize that there's kind of so-called safety equipment out there for it. It's just part of their life, how they jump on it and work every day and stuff. And so a lot of that stuff has happened. And So where we come involved in this program has really evolved, and it's went from was going to be at the state fairground, and now it's going to be at 3 different schools. And this is pretty cool too. I'm gonna bring this up, and I promise I'll hurry this up. But so just an example, we are going to be involved with the series, and they're doing it at 3 different schools. The first day is Wednesday, September 25th at Martinsdale. Okay. There's going to be 500 kids from K through 12 students going through this program. And we're working on this program that'll happen. It's a 2.5-hour program that'll happen in the morning and then again in the afternoon to get all the kids through it. The second day will be the very next day, which is Thursday, September 26th. That's going to be at Winterset Community School. Right now, there's 816 kids are going to go through this program, and that is junior high and high school and students 6 through 12. And there's already 816 kids signed up for that. The third day is September 27th, that Friday, and that will be held at Interstate 35 Community Schools in Truro. And again, there's 850 plus kids signed up from K through 12 to go through this program. So if you look at that, Chris, we're talking 1,600, another 5, we're over 2,100 kids that are going to have an opportunity to kind of see the safety side of things, and hopefully be able to affect someone's life as far as the safety and the injuries that are happening lots of times out in our rural communities. How the series is going to be a part of this, and if somebody would like to help out, please get a hold of me, because this is just the first of many of these that's going to happen. It's something, if you want at your school, there's an opportunity to probably put in for it. Just get a hold of us. We'll get you with the right people. But we have several of our racers that we've reached out to. A lot of this time we did by the local, because you are going to have to miss school or work or something to participate in this. It's basically a 7:30 in the morning till 2:00 in the afternoon type situation. So we've got several of we've got some youth, we've got some adults, we've got a gal, a 4x4. It's going to be there in their gear, in the race machines, with their helmets, everything. Going to be able to answer questions to kids, maybe do a little bit of talking, and just kind of walk through the situation that when we go through racing and the safety equipment that we have to have and how it helps. And, there might be some talk about some stuff that's went the wrong way, and it can even happen with the safety equipment, so, but it definitely helps. And it's just a great way to be able to educate kids. And I'm very proud of the people that are going to be there helping. So actually, I don't want to leave anybody off, but actually Bodorf is going to be there representing the women's. Jaden Jones, my grandson, is going to be there. Coulter Smalley's going to be there. Kevin Weedy's going to be there. I feel like I'm missing one other person, and I apologize. I feel like I'm missing one others, but if we have other people that would like to participate in this, please get a hold of me, and we can definitely get it worked out, even if it's not for this one, but for the next one. So really, really cool, rewarding opportunity there.
Yeah, good opportunity. Oh, sorry for the printer. Printer's going crazy right now. You can hear that.
Yeah.
So last topic, kind of wrap things up here. We're just barely over an hour. Doing great on time. What's going on with the UTVs?
So once again, I haven't been there the last 2 races. I hate to keep saying that, but obviously I feel like I have, because I've gotten several phone calls on stuff going on. I've had some side-by-side guys reach out to me with their opinions. We've even had to have a panel meeting, meaning that is the the guys we had set up to where we have an issue, instead of us making a call on it, we've got racers involved where we talk about it and they kind of determine whether somebody's in the right or the wrong, through those conversations, and other ones reaching out to me. I'm not saying that there is a problem. I'm saying that it appears to many people that there is a problem, or we're getting another problem. And we had this problem in the past multiple times with side-by-sides, and it's the beating and the banging and stuff. And I get it. Someone's going to get on the website or whatever, or some forum, and say Rubbin's racing. And, we all get that. That's common sense. But when we start tearing the machines up and feelings are starting to get hurt and stuff like that, and just a lot of equipment that costs a lot of money is getting hurt. Sometimes that happens on the start, where it used to happen all the time on the start, where somebody would get rubbed wrong. And then it's kind of payback time throughout the race or something. We've seen them coming through scoring, and, someone's gotten cut off, or someone thinks someone took the wrong corner. And so they think it's, I don't know if they think it's funny, or if it's cool, or I'm just going to get their attention. And Chris, I don't have to tell you, I know you've seen this 100 times, but they come through scoring and they decide, instead of doing what they're supposed to, we'll just pop the guy in front of me. So I'm going to give him his attention, not worrying about the people that are around there that could get hurt, as we've seen happen before, but I guess I'm not going to sit here and talk for 20 minutes. I'm going to surprise you, Chris, on this. I'm not going to do that. I'm done talking about this kind of stuff for 20 minutes. We will having a coming to Jesus meeting again with these side-by-sides before the race. So you need to be on we start at 4:30. We always try to get started a little early if possible, but I would try to get to the starting line for the side-by-sides. If you could get there, say at 3:45-ish, must try to be there like at 3:40. And you can line up. That's the other thing too we didn't put out there earlier, Chris. Where we start, we'll never be back there. The track never goes through there. So you can actually go out there and get lined up at any point for your race. So the side-by-sides can be out there. They can get lined up as soon as we can get the awards done for the adults, or maybe I have somebody else do it. We'll see. But we'll come down there and we're going to talk. So don't be in your car thinking, I'm going to sit in my car and do this. Everybody's going to get out. You're going to come up to I suppose I'll be in the mule, We're going to walk up there and we're going to have a conversation. And here's why I'm not going to talk about it for 20 minutes, because we've done this several times. And every single time, Chris, I feel like I'm the one being the kind of the butthead, and saying this. So I'm only going to say it one other time, and that's this. If we want to have side-by-side racing, you'll be there, you'll listen, you'll understand what's going on, and you will correct if you're a part of the problem. If not, you'll self-police to make sure it don't happen, because we're not going to continue doing this if we're going to continue tearing cars up that don't need to be torn up. So I'm not saying taking one side or another side. We had multiple issues the last time. I think the race before, there might have been an issue as well. It just can't happen. The sport is way too expensive right now, for us to go out there and just tear cars up. We have people that you and I would say the same name right off the top of our head, that are out there to have fun. And we love seeing them come through scoring because they're smiling every time, or it might be Dustin Cowan coming through with his radio blast and us telling him to stop having too much fun. He's having too much fun type thing, but it's got to be fun at some point, and we don't pay out enough to make it to where, it should be a big thing, as far as wanting to tear somebody else's machine up or not, so it just all comes down here. It's going to stop point blank. We're not going to put up with it. We're not going to allow cars to be torn up in an offensive or defensive situation. We're not going to put up with it multiple races. So if that's what you're thinking that you're doing, I guess the best thing I could say is we can't afford to lose any side-by-sides and keep racing. But if we do, it's very simple. We just don't do it no more. That's it. So we're not going to be a part of a demolition derby or dealing with the fallouts from that kind of stuff. So we're going to have a meeting about that. We're going to solve it real quick with telling what our opinion is, and that's how it's going to be. And if they want to be a part of it, We're going to have a blast racing them, but if you don't want to be a part of it or you have an issue with the way we're doing it, then it might be time to find something else to do, unfortunately. So hopefully that's point blank what's going to happen. And, you know, I absolutely love it. If I could do anything right now, Chris, if I had the money to go buy a side-by-side and someone else would do the start, I would love to go out and race a side-by-side. I'd absolutely love it. I think it's what we've always wanted to do, you know, growing up or kids or something, you know. So, I mean, it's something that we don't want to lose that side of things at all. We want to have fun with it. We want it to grow, even though that 20 to 25 is perfect with me. When we was up to like 53 cars, that was a lot of work and a lot of towing out afterwards and a lot of broken machines afterwards. So that 20 to 25 is kind of my goal. You know, I like it being right there where we can all have fun, enjoy it and stuff, and still not tear the heck out of things. But we just, you know, I tell everybody this, and I know everybody gets sick of me. I just had a conversation with my youngest son about this today, and I know I've quite frankly pissed people off when I've said this before, but our open class, so many people want to get the open class. They want to do it because there's a payout. We have people riding $35,000 to $50,000 cars in that open class for a $200 payout. You know, it's meant to have fun. It's meant to, you know, challenge yourselves and others. It's not here to be a moneymaker. We don't want it to be. We don't want you know, everything smashed in and stuff. But to be, you know, a lot of the guys like to call them the pro guys or the open guys. You know, you don't, just because you win a race doesn't mean that you're a pro rider to me or an open rider. That's the guys of anybody out there that should be able to go into a corner and trust. It's like when I used to go-kart race. There was guys, you could go out and race with and guys you couldn't. You go into a corner and you should be able to flat foot it right around there and be right on their butt, you know, and that guy in front of you should, you know, understand that you're not going to take him out, and the guy behind, you know, he's not going to brake check me. And that's a difference in working your way up the ladder. You know, the first year guys and the B classes where we'd see some of that stuff. But by the time you get up there, it's all about driving skill, and it's not about the, you know, it's about being able to trust each other and race to the full capability of you and the car. So we just got to get back to that. So, hey, there we go. Line the KRX up. I like that idea. Chris, I think we've lost your voice.
No, I'm back.
Oh, there we go. Okay.
I was just trying to see what it would feel like for not talking for a while.
Sean's trying to get me in trouble. I would love to do that. Absolutely.
Joe's asking you to come to A class. I was going to mention that I know somebody with a 4-seater, and there's been several crew that's threatening them to jump in on the last lap and ride it out with him. But
yeah.
Well, yeah.
Yeah. So we've had a lot of fun, and I want to go back, and I think every single one of our side-by-side riders are having fun. I think everyone bring a family atmosphere to our sport that's second to none. And I wouldn't trade one of our riders for anybody else out there, another series out there whatsoever. So it's not a thing where you're pointing fingers or anything. It's quite frankly, it's just the opposite. We're trying to protect every single one of them. And we don't want anybody to get caught up in that situation. So That's what it's all about. We want to be able to come out and have fun and enjoy it and put on a good show for everybody. So.
All right. What else you got? It's everything you covered on my list for today. I don't see very many questions unless somebody has a question in the chat. But it's been quiet.
We caught everybody off guard by having it this time.
And it's an off day. It's a Monday.
Yes. I would like to say this, though, is, you know, we've got some stuff in the works right now with our website and social media and stuff. You're going to see a lot more out there about like our sponsorships and stuff. But Central Iowa Towing and Recovery is our title sponsor for this race. And I can't thank some of these guys enough because, you know, Dustin used to race with us, had fun. Him and his family had a lot of fun with us. and they've been helping us out now for, I want to say 3 or 4 years now, sponsoring a race and stuff. And those are people that they're doing it for the reason to keep the sport going and stuff. It's not something that they're trying to get a lot out of, by no means. But every single one of our sponsors, we can't thank enough. And Central Iowa Towing Recovery is one that definitely deserves a shout out, especially coming into this race. So Hotsy's another one that's going to be getting a lot of attention in the next race, with our Hotsy Whole Shot Challenge and stuff. And of course, we always got to thank Handy, the best lifts on the market. I keep seeing new stuff coming out from them guys all the time. I don't know what I would do without my lift. That's just all there is to it. We use that thing so much. So obviously we're very proud to have Handy on board, being the title sponsor now for, I think, the 4th year in a row. So
yeah,
it's very cool. So looking forward to some new stuff that's going to be happening here in the future. So, and then of course, right now, Chris, you wouldn't think so, but you know what this is a busy time for? Is our scheduling for next year.
I was gonna say
gotta
get the dates down.
Yeah,
it's not as easy as everybody thinks. Oh, you're there last year, let's just be the same weekend. It doesn't work like that, and there's things that come up and just dates that don't work out, so you have to negotiate and try to figure out where a track may fit in.
Yeah.
So yeah,
and of course I'll speak up for my guys. They all do a wonderful job, but they will tell you the first thing, it's not easy having 2 brand new tracks in a year, at all. It's so much work, and especially when one's clear down to Cahokia. Not saying that's far for everybody, but for us, a long drive like that, just go down to work on it, that makes it tough when you already have another new track this year, so we still have to fill in that race that got pulled up underneath us this year. We're working on that. We just got another lead for another track last night, or potential area for a track last night. So we've got about 3 or 4 different places right now that we're going to try to fill in that race that we missed this year. Yes, our goal is obviously to get 7 races and then turn around and have 1 or 2 tracks if case something happened, whether it be a weather or, some kind of issue where we lose it for the year, that we can always just go right to the next one. Don't have to drop a track. So there's a good chance of having a brand new track for next year. I'll put it that way. So.
Gotcha.
But yeah, other than that, I know I will say we had another new 50 limited I've been talking to the last couple of days. She will be on the line this weekend. Brand new racer. I know we have another one that is going to be filling in for his cousin in the 90s. Got a broken, I think it was an elbow. And
is that
Jackson West.
Okay. Yep.
And I think it's his cousin is going to start racing his machine the last 2 races to fill in. So I know of at least 2 brand new youth racers, one in the 50s and one in the 90s. That'll be there this weekend. So looking forward to seeing them and welcome them to the family.
Good. Well, just a few more days away.
Yeah.
I had some questions about camping just to wrap things up. Camping's available Friday night. You'll be there. Did I hear you're going to be down there Wednesday?
I think we're going to be down there Wednesday evening now.
Okay. So
yep.
Starting Wednesday, somebody will be at the track.
Oh, shoot. We do have something else. Go ahead and finish that, but there is something major I got to talk about real quick.
I also saw a question about track width. Are side-by-sides up to 72 inches is what I think the question is.
Yeah, we tried to say that at the beginning of the year. All the tracks we're trying to make for 72 inches. Yep. So there shouldn't be an issue there. So, yep. That's kind of a standard policy now is 72. So, yep. Really quick though, we'll answer any more questions that might pop up here, but this is very important. And I'm going to put that, I'll say it and then we can always put it out there. But if you bring up the GPS for the track location, okay, it'll take you right there from any direction. Okay. But there's some places that have less rock and stuff. If you're coming in from the south, if you're coming in from the south, like from Missouri, you're coming up the interstate, there's a way off of there. If you're coming up like 65, I believe it is, to Humiston, you can take the pavement road west out of Humiston at the school, go back north to Leroy. That's actually the least amount of pavement. There's a couple different ways that way. But here's what has to happen. You have the location. You can go any way you want. However, if you are in a pickup or like the XCC trailer, something like just a normal trailer, you're fine. But if you have anything over that, like a motorhome, a fifth wheel, gooseneck camper type thing, a big rig, you cannot take, it's off of Highway 34. I forget the, I'll put it out there, but there's one spot. God, let me see if I can find it really quick. There's one spot that has a 11-foot bridge overhead. So you cannot fit underneath there with, smaller or bigger or campers and stuff. If you are planning on going that way, if you've looked that up.
Wasn't 34 closer, or if you're coming from Sheridan?
Yeah, well, Sheraton. Yeah, 34 comes from like Sheraton over to Murray and stuff. But basically, you can go down through Woodburn is a good way to go if you're coming from the north. If you're not taking the interstate or going through Osceola, you can also go through Woodburn, which is off of 34. But as I go, Chris, I go down through Indianola, and I take 69 down, and then you get off what's called Liberty Highway. Okay. Well, Liberty Highway, I'm trying to bring it up here real quick. Okay. So Liberty Highway, when you're going south, you run into 34. What you want to do is go left, which would be going east, and it's about 2 miles down, and that's how you get to Woodburn, and then go south, and it takes you pavement down into the gravel. But if you're coming down, say, Liberty or even off of 34, it'll take you down a county highway called H8R. Okay? H8R. And that right off of Highway 34, it's about a mile down, is the overhead that you can't get through. It's only 11 foot tall. I will try to kind of circle that and put a picture of that out there. Okay, it's actually 288th Avenue. But right off of 34. It's within 2 miles, mile and a half to 2 miles off of Highway 34. I just want everybody to understand that, because it's just a normal road. You would not want to have to turn around or back up on that. So you just do not want to. Might try sending you a picture of this, and maybe you can.
Yep, we'll work on getting some posted.
You got an iPhone, don't you?
I do. All the cool kids have one. Surprised you have one.
I gotta get back in the scheme of things here.
I think that's what 3 or 4 jobs for me.
I think so. I just sent you a pin drop, Chris. Maybe you can do something with that to, like, what are you laughing at?
Oh, yes, your terms. Yeah, go ahead.
A dropped pin? Okay, sorry. But that is where that bridge is. If maybe you can put that out there to be known so people know where that's at, to go down that. And again, if you're just in a pickup, a car, pulling a trailer, like anything like a cargo trailer, like the XCC or a scoring trailer, anything like that, you're perfectly fine getting underneath there. It's just 11 foot tall. So
Gotcha.
that's all I got, though.
I know we're running a little long, but man, we never got an opportunity to do a recap on the Iowa State Fair. I just realized that. I mean, just a quick recap. Numbers were good.
Thank you again.
I mean, we got a lot of good feedback from the fair itself, right? Yeah. You want to just briefly talk about it? Give us an opportunity to kind of wrap up. Thank everybody for participating. It went again very smooth. We had a couple hiccups, and we took a couple things away this year that for next year to make sure it gets right. I'll take some blame on that for a couple of classes, but overall, I think the event went smooth. God, I swear there was 4,000 people up there in those stands throughout the day watching. So,
I think the State Fair did an incredible job at making that a free admission to the grandstand. That made a huge difference. That was really nice. We had the highest turnout we've ever had for entries. That was very nice also. Yeah, it was really cool. I think everything went smooth. Our scoring is the toughest part there. I got to give you guys credit, which I normally don't give you credit, but the scoring is obviously the hardest thing to do. The second hardest thing to do there is getting people lined up, efficiently. And Brad and Joe was one person short. They normally have 3, and there's only 2 of them did it. And I don't think they missed a step. I mean, you've seen it. I would walk out to start them, and I'm looking at you to see if we can start them, and they already have them lined up and ready to go,
Yep.
So the easiest part of the whole day is very odd to have. It's the track crew, for us out there on the track. It goes pretty darn smooth. So I'd say the takeaways that I got is next year, Chris, we're going to have to just be kind of the mean guys and not score people if they don't have, their number plates on. That's the biggest thing is, you may know them, but you can't remember everybody's name when they're coming by so quick. It's a tough thing for you guys. And so we got to make sure we had some not have number plates on and stuff like that. But it's a lot going on at a very, very high speed, rate as far as getting them in, getting them out. And I thought the sportsmanship was second to none. I think it was the best we've ever seen it there. I thought everybody did a great job from the youth all the way to the side-by-sides, So not much drama. I think they did a great job. I'm so glad you brought this up because that's the thing I didn't put on the list tonight. And this will only take me a second. But guess what we have upstairs? We have our AMA number 1 plates. So the ones that don't race with us were mailed out 3-4 days ago, I think. We're bringing all of our people's number 1 plates to the track this weekend. So we will be able to hand them out. And if people aren't there, then we will make sure we get them to them. But the one thing, we're actually going to do something really cool there with this poster that we're going to make of the AMA number 1. It's going to have the pictures. Well, I'm not going to tell everything, but every single person, in order to get your plate, you come up, I need a mug shot. Just hold the plate right in front of your chest, we just need a chest up picture. We can be with a cell phone. But I need pictures of everybody that received them, or else you just won't, be a part of it or get the credit. So we've put notes in the ones that were mailed out that we need pictures. But everybody else will get, if they're there this weekend, we'll get their pictures. So, but yeah, another great event. It just, it's tough on everybody with being during the state fair and everything, but even as tough as that is, that's also what makes it so special, and I want to thank everybody, yourself included, that was out there at the, on the grandstand the day before, set up a display and everything. So, and everybody that helped on the track. We only had 1 day, Chris, this year to build that. Remember?
Yes, we did.
We always built it the week before, and this year we built it as soon as the antique tractor pullers were done. I was literally on the track, marking the track out, and a lot of it got built that night. The rest of it was finished the next morning. By probably 3:00 that afternoon, everything was done. So it's phenomenal. Again, how everything comes together, I'll never know, but I think we fool some people, making it look easy. So,
Yeah.
but great time. It's just different for everybody. Some people, it's not their cup of tea, but it's different than cross country racing. And it's, I love it. I'm a huge state fair fan, so I absolutely love it. HVG does a huge part of that, with all the water trucks and the machineries and stuff. Iowa Earthworks is the other part of that makes we couldn't do it without them. So those two companies right there, just, if it wasn't for them, we would not be having that race. So definitely thank all them people. So
Yeah, enough said. Yeah, well done.
And our 7A car, Jack Anderson, we enjoyed watching that. He had some bad luck coming in the year. If you guys didn't see it, he tore the car up pretty hard, made a hell of a pass on the outside going into turn one on the start. Season championship, and already passed about 5 cars, and one lost it in front of him, had nowhere to go, and tore up the car pretty good. But I just seen that they took 2 chassis in to get them done, and Jack's just a great kid. He's playing football right now with a broken hand, getting ready for wrestling. It's just really cool to be a part of that program with them guys, and known that family forever, and very proud of them guys. So look forward to next year. If you didn't get to go this year, Chris and I went quite a bit, but I think one of the most fun parts was taking the kids down and getting to meet Jack, get the stickers and stuff, and a lot of them got to sit in the car afterwards, and they had so much fun. I remember Kendall Moyer. Remember when she went down there, Muller?
Yeah.
And she sat in the car, and I don't think she wanted to at first, man. She was just all smiles afterwards, sitting in the race car and everything. And just a lot of fun. So we plan on doing that again next year. So,
yeah. All right, buddy. I let you go way too long tonight, but it's been a while.
Yep.
Kind of miss seeing your face. See, there was a compliment. So
I'll remember you said that.
and we have, quite a few still on here. So thank you guys for sticking around. Oh, it's been a while. We'll get back into it here. Kind of got motivated again.
Sorry for the late notice too. We definitely wanted to slip one in, but
yeah,
it's kind of late notice. So,
well,
something, Chris, we need to get back when we really get back in the line here, which I know we've only got 2 races left, but is getting some of our racers back on.
Yeah.
Talk to them and see how things have went, throughout the year for them, and maybe get some of our champions in here. And I'd like to see some of our first year racers and more of our youth racers in there, so.
Yeah, but we'll try to get back to a schedule. It's going to be a while. I'll be honest with you.
Yeah.
Our Thursday nights kind of worked out good for the both of us, but for some reason, where we live here in Des Moines, it seems like it's no longer Friday night football. It's Thursday night football. And even our varsity teams are playing Thursdays. So it's a little difficult right now until we kind of get past football here, and we'll get back to normal, hopefully.
Well, I got news for you. Wrestling's on Thursdays too. A lot of them are Thursdays.
Yeah, Tuesday, Thursdays. Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
So we might have to float around a little bit. We don't have to be on a Thursday. So
yeah, we'll get back to try to figure out some sort of a schedule and try to get it posted out there.
Yeah. Oh, another quick shout out, really quick. We have not, again, I think everybody knows everybody's been busy and stuff, so we haven't followed it quite enough or got this stuff out there. But I want to give a shout out to Mr. Brandt.
Cole Brandt.
Cole was leading the overall this weekend and had a tough break there. So, but leading the overall in the GNCC, I know. I don't know how everybody finished. I think I seen Jackson Carroll might have been I want to say 8th or 9th or something, which is obviously very good. And I think he's in, is it junior B or no? I get those classes all confused, but college B, I think is what he's in, but did really well. Shorty, Jordan Berg, end up third in the college A. I know Jenna, I might be wrong. I think Jenna got 5th. I think I seen Davis's were there.
Yeah, third,
We got a 2nd
fourth.
and 3rd.
Yeah, it's somewhere around there.
3rd and 3rd. Yeah. I just did a quick overview of it and stuff. So congratulations, all them. And then I know he's probably never listening, but to give a huge shout out. Do you know who the #1 overall most winningest racer in GNCC history is? Chris, you're supposed to be all excited. That's supposed to be.
I'm trying to. I think I know. I think I know who it might be, but I don't want to be
after
wrong.
After this weekend, the one that you ask anybody, I never ever vote against them, never ever bet against them.
Do you need this?
There it is. Fowler got his 76th win, the most winningest racer in GNCC history for the pro class. Very proud of that kid. So,
yeah.
Congratulations. If you missed anybody else, congratulations if you're out there finishing. Very proud of all of our kids. I know we got a lot of adults, kids go down to Missouri, Arkansas, been
showing up and showing out, right?
Indiana, the GNCC, we got side-by-sides going all over the country, doing really well. So, yeah, very proud of everybody. I'm sorry we haven't given the attention that probably should have been given. So, with that, Chris, I'm going to shut my mouth because I know you're ready to get off here. I am too. Just keep thinking of stuff that just been so long and all the stuff that we haven't talked about. So, look forward to seeing everybody there this weekend. So,
yeah. All right. Well, thanks everybody for still sticking around. Those have stuck around to the end. I know Andy can be long-winded, but he actually has been very helpful tonight. Shared a lot of information. Kept it short.
I thought that was going to be another jab, and you actually almost gave me a compliment. I don't even know what to say.
It's borderline. But yeah, we'll take it up and let's shoot for next Monday, Andy. Right?
Sounds good.
You should be home by that. We can do a little recap of how this race went. Might be a little tight on like points and that stuff, but we'll have a good idea where people are kind of sitting, and we'll go from there.
Yeah, and please, anybody that's down there this weekend, whether there's something that you like, something you dislike, remember the opportunity to find these places are very, very hard to find. If you see any of the bears, please, the landowners, please stop, give them a handshake, thank them. It's just such a huge opportunity. We've gotten into 2 very nice locations, at Trenton and now at Weldon. There's never been a race even near Weldon, so this is very cool. So yeah, please thank everybody down there, and let's leave the place. I'm so proud of our people, Chris. You know how it is.
Yeah.
You've been some of the last ones to ever leave there at several races, and it's just amazing how people respect the area. It's one thing that I always say. I know I'm starting to talk more than I should, but I got to tell you this, and I let the landowners know this too. But one of the coolest things you can ever hear is when the concession people, the concession people, you think they sit in there and they work in there and they get your food, but they go through a lot, because people are always in a hurry, or people this or people that, you know what I mean? And every race, when we have a new food vendor, they always talk about how nice our people are. They say they're so respectable. It's stuff like that. We talk to landowners afterwards, and they're just like, I can't believe everybody was like a big family. They're so nice. That is the absolute best comment we could ever get. And I can't thank everybody, in our race family for acting like that and representing the whole series as well as they do. So,
yeah.
So, all righty.
Yeah, let's wrap her up. One last cheap plug. If you need any Tyloo products, reach out to Chad Bodorf. He'll be at the track set up, and he'll be able to bring you any type of fuel or any other products you might need. So, all right. Thanks, everybody. We'll see you at the race this weekend.
Thanks, Chris.